Today I'm excited to present a fragrance to you. It is about 2 weeks old to my collection. I did a short on it when I first got it. I kind of sat on it to make sure that it was something worth bringing to you guys. I wanted to test it, and it definitely is. I don't have anything like this in my collection. It's fun, but also grown and sexy. It is affordable, and it is a successful blind buy. What's better than that, right? It's called Viola. I hope you can see it. It's such a beautiful bottle. Look at that purple. And it's by Ajmal, okay? The back, it has the Ajmal symbol. It's a nice weighty bottle. The cap is plastic. It's very light, but the bottle is nice and weighty, and it fits really nicely in your hand. I have small hands, so it fits really nicely. I can reach the atomizer and spray very easily. But let me tell you about this fragrance. So it has black currant in it, bergamot, and spices. So black currant, anything black currant, I am on high alert. I love that. It's gonna be probably one of my top 5 favorite fruity notes. The sweetness, the tartness of it definitely is attractive to me. But bergamot, I love citruses too. I love spices. The spices in here, I have to say, they're not really descript. I can't pick them out. I don't know what the spice is. I can't identify it, but I mean, it's just mildly there. In the mid, there are some white florals. There's some jasmine, lily of the valley, and rose. Okay, so the florals in the mid are definitely not indolic. They're bright. And in the base, there's some vanilla, there's some patchouli, and there's some cedar. So let me tell you what this fragrance does. When I first spray it on my skin, and you don't need a lot, this fragrance projects. You're gonna leave a beautiful sillage. But when I first spray it, I do have to say there is a mild amount of alcohol that dissipates fairly quickly, but after the alcohol goes away and within the first 30 seconds, that vanilla starts to come up and mix with the black currant and the bergamot, and I get grape Laffy Taffy. It's creamy, okay? It's grapey, very fruity, sweet, but tart. It's just candy-like. And I don't have any fragrances in my collection that have that grapey nature. Maybe La Interdite by Givenchy, but that's more of a tuberose grapiness. This is creamy, okay? This is a creamy grape. It's not like a... that to me is more clear, more just fruity. This is creamy, okay? It's a little bit thicker. Like I said, when you chew, if you've had a Laffy Taffy, if you've had a even now or later, but that flavor great. But those particular candies, when you chew them, you know that there is a creaminess to them, but they're also juicy and sweet and tart. That lasts for about an hour. And then, but even so, as it's developing on your skin, you can definitely start to feel the spices start to come through mildly. They're there mildly. So if you're somebody who doesn't like spicy fragrances, don't worry. It's mostly at this point, and even through the fragrance, it's mostly the fruits and the florals and the vanilla and the woods. Okay, the woods start to come through more at the base. So let me tell you, as it develops after that first hour, as the juiciness, fruitiness starts to dry out, I would say the juiciness starts to dry out, and the fruitiness starts to fade away, you definitely get those florals. The sweetness stays. This fragrance is definitely a sweet fragrance. Not syrupy sweet. I wouldn't say it's a syrupy sweet fragrance, but there is a good amount of sweetness to it. And it starts to mix with those white florals. I don't really get a rose. If it's there, it's very subtle. But yeah, as that starts to dry down and the more it develops, the more the wood starts to come through, the patchouli and the cedar. And I don't feel like this, I don't get any connection to like an oud or anything like that. But I have to say, I did wear this to the Natural History Museum. We were inside and I was walking around And my mom, she used to live in Iran, so she has a good memory of what smells, what scents that were around her when she lived there. And she said it smelled Middle Eastern. So, I mean, I don't get that, but other people around you might feel it. And I don't know if that's because of the woody nature mixed with the spices. I'm not sure what connected her to that, but she did say that it was also sweet. She complimented it. She said that it smelled good, but it was definitely, to her, felt Middle Eastern in the dry down. I had worn it maybe for a couple, 2 or 3 hours before we got there. She was able to smell my sillage when I was looking at an exhibit, and maybe she came back, she was able to smell that I had been there. I think I probably used about 5 or 6 sprays of this, so be easy on the trigger if that's what, if you're gonna wear it during the day or around in enclosed settings where there's a lot of people around. If you don't want to draw a lot of attention to yourself, be easy on the sprays. If you don't care, do what you want. Of course, it's always like that. I would say maybe not in the heat, not in the middle of the day. This may not be the best fragrance to wear, but definitely heading toward evening, headed toward nighttime, I would say this is beautiful. So you have that fun, candy-like, grape-like beginning that dries down into more of a spicy, white floral, but sweet, you know, woody, sexy fragrance, you know. And I would say, you know, it grows to be more grown woman. You have more sexiness to this fragrance. So I was trying to look on Fragrantica and see what I could compare it to, because like I said, I don't have anything in my collection that's like this. And I feel like it is a unique fragrance simply because the comparisons are all over the place. It's compared to La Vie Est Belle. It's compared to Mon Paris. And if you know, those two fragrances aren't similar. Maybe at their top, I think they both have black currant. And so maybe they're taking pieces of it and saying the fruity nature reminds them of that. But the dry down of this fragrance is not similar to either. Maybe the patchouli might be related to the Mon Paris, but it's definitely more creamy, more spicy than Mon Paris. And I don't get the dry down of this does not remind me of La Vie Est Belle either. I think it was also compared to Rose's Musk by Montal. I haven't smelled that, but as I said before, I don't really get a rose in this fragrance at all. There was even a version of Carolina Herrera, and I haven't smelled all the versions, and I cannot remember the notes of all of the flankers, but I will say I know that a lot of them, Carolina is known to have like an almondy note in it. I don't get any almond in this fragrance. I'll try to put it down, but like I said, the fragrances listed as comparisons, I don't get them in here, and looking at them, I don't find them to be similar. Maybe pieces of them, but they don't smell alike. So yeah, I really think this is a unique fragrance. So successful blind buy, inexpensive blind buy, unique to my collection. I would say this is definitely a win. I feel like this is definitely worth trying. Have any of you guys heard of this fragrance? Ajmal is not necessarily a brand that I hear a lot about as far as Middle Eastern fragrances go. But if you guys have tried it, definitely let me know. There's also another version. I don't know if it's a version of this, but there's also a fragrance that's in the same type of bottle. It's just pink, and it's like ombre, silver at the bottom. So if you guys have tried that one, definitely let me know if it's worth getting my nose on. But yeah, like I said, I think it is worth it if you like the notes that I've described, of course. And that is Viola. Sweet like candy in the beginning, but kind of spicy, woody, white floral in the base. Let me guys know what you think. I'll see you guys in the comments. That's all for today. Love Jay. Bye-bye.